Hey everybody, it's Dave Robles with Think Real Estate bringing you episode 26 of the great California Corona Staycation show. I am really excited about today because I'm with an old dear friend, Rich Derman, who I've known for probably 15 years, started in the real estate world and then went on to kind of conquer the ocean and the environmental activism that he has kind of become known for. And we're going to talk environment today. Rich, good to see you, my friend.
You too, brother. How you doing, Dave?
A lot better right now looking at your face, bud.
Oh, thank
You
you.
know, it's Rich has been an important part of my life. Years ago, he was my real estate coach. He was the source of a lot of great advice that helped me kick off a career that I am forever indebted to him.
Oh,
So
yeah, we go way back. Thank you.
So, I follow you. I see you. You live down in Laguna. Tell the audience a little bit about what you're doing down in Laguna these days.
Yeah, so quick background. As you said, I've only ever done two things my whole life. I guess three now, but one was I used to sell real estate, which I did for 13 years at a pretty high level, which led to the second thing that I ever did, which was real estate coaching, which is how I met you. And then I made a decision some years back to, I still do some coaching, but segue out of real estate. And now I work more with just entrepreneurs in general. And then somehow moving to Laguna Beach, my life kind of segued into really being all about the ocean. And I think I'm probably best known now as a guy, up until a month ago at least, who paddleboards with dolphins and whales every day here in Laguna Beach. I take photos, I shoot video of these animals. So at the beginning, it really began as my love for the ocean, my love for these animals, and then sharing the photos and videos as a way of raising awareness. Really not even that, in real simple terms, just like, hey, look what I'm seeing. Look at this beautiful dolphin, this beautiful whale. And it started as just my way of sharing the beauty that I see on the water every day. And that became more of like awareness for these animals and really a passion to protect not only the ocean in general, but specifically the sacred life that lives in the ocean. So that's really my main passion now is to try to protect the ocean and the life living in it.
Well, let's talk about that, because when you're out there and you're witnessing and you're experiencing the dolphins and the ocean life that you do see,
yeah,
you must also see trash.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it.
a lot of it.
A lot of it. And one of the silver linings that we've heard of from this whole COVID experience is that things are getting cleaner.
Yes.
Things are getting cleaner. And there's a little bit of controversy around that too. We saw pictures of dolphin in Italy, in the canals.
Canals in Venice, yeah.
And that's beautiful. And it's incredible to see wildlife come down and
Yep.
be in the foothills where usually they're not because of humans that are there.
Yep.
So there's some really beautiful things that are happening in the environment. But I've also heard that there's some opposites that we have to contend with. For example, because everybody's in quarantine, single-use plastics are going way up right now as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
People are ordering takeout from all these restaurants and stuff, and on top of that, a lot of municipalities are halting their recycling efforts right now.
Correct.
So what is that going to look like, in your ocean, my friend?
So I'll say it this way. I have deep, deep sympathy and empathy for the planet right now. Like, there is people that are getting sick and dying. The economic repercussions of this already are profound and will continue to be extremely profound probably for years ahead. And then just this overall level of fear that people have, it's legitimate, and nobody's immune from any of these things. So we'll call that the negative side of this. On the positive though, and I kind of feel like it's a potential silver lining, there are some extremely positive, powerful environmental changes that are occurring. I've seen stats that have said that that pollution is down like 60%,
Yeah.
just in a matter of weeks. I've always been a guy who said that if we just leave the ocean alone, it will restore itself. The planet has an amazing ability to heal and restore itself if we just leave it alone.
Right.
And so what I like to say is that we basically took the engine of the world and we all but turned it off. We cranked it down dramatically in just a few weeks, and look at the changes. You mentioned some of them that are occurring.
Yeah.
Are there tangent negative things, like you said, people are ordering out, so they're using more single-use plastic and recycling is not happening? Yeah, that's occurring. I'm with you. That being said, I think the positive impacts have been extremely profound, which leads to the question, obviously, well, what's going to happen when things get somewhat back to normal in the months ahead? Will we learn the lesson?
Yeah.
Will we realize, like, hey, look at the positive impacts, let's continue down that path? Or will we just crank that machine back up and even stronger than ever, and really not only not get the lesson, but that will lead to potentially, well, I'm not a doomsday guy at all. I do my best, as you know me forever, Dave. I like to think of myself as an optimist, but also a realist. I hope this is the great wake-up call that we've all needed. Because if this is not, this is nothing in comparison to what eventually could happen and probably will happen if we don't learn the lesson this time around.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. And I wanted to do this or have this conversation with you, Rich, because we don't have the answers, yes, in a lot of ways, we're seeing positive changes, unintended positive consequences, I guess.
Yeah.
But we've got to take that as an opportunity. And there's a lot of, I think, erroneous information out there, misinformation about, oh, this is a reset. This is, all good, but it's not sustainable good if we just go back to our old habits, and that's, I think, the message we need to get out.
That's the $64,000 question right there.
Right there, my friend.
Will we take advantage of this opportunity?
Nitrogen dioxide levels have seriously dropped in China and in Italy as a result of their lockdowns. And I'm sure that's happening here in the United States as well. But man, let's keep it down.
Yeah.
Let's keep it down. Let's figure out a way that we can lessen the carbon footprint out there in all walks of our life,
Well, the cool thing is we already know the ways.
Yeah, right.
There's alternatives. We already know. It's going to be a matter of, will people in positions to make change go in the direction that's going to be for the best of the planet, for the animals, and us animals also, or not? That's really what it's going to boil down to.
I mean, like what you and I are doing right now. I mean, video conferencing. I mean, how many meetings can we now prevent from taking place throughout LA, where 4 people got to travel across the freaking city to have a meeting for 20 minutes?
I think that part's going to stick. I think companies are going to realize it makes a lot more sense to have as many employees as possible work from home than commute, go to the office. Like that, it'll make financial sense for companies to have people work from home 100%. And look, I mean, look where you are right now in LA. The before and after photos I've seen of downtown LA, I mean, it is a profound difference.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, and that's the kind of stuff that we just need to parlay on, Anyway, I would love to see some of your photos from your ocean shots. Do you have anything you can show real quick?
Do I?
Yeah, do a screen share.
Well, you're putting the pressure on me to.
I know, right?
You forgot how technically challenged I am. All right, I pulled up a video. This is crazy. This is actually a year ago, almost to the day. Last April, we had blue whales I'll tell you a quick little story. It was 4 in the afternoon on April something a year ago. And I was driving, I don't know if you know where Crystal Cove State Park, and there's a shopping center right there. I was driving into the parking lot to pick up a late lunch. I hadn't eaten anything. And as I always do, I look out to the ocean and I see this huge spout about a mile offshore. And I see a little boat next to it. And I'm like, that's my buddy who's a whaleboat captain. And I sent him a text. I'm like, what? I'm like, that looks like a blue whale. He goes, yeah, it's a blue whale. I said, is it moving or is it just hanging out? He goes, oh, it's been circling around all afternoon. So I got my food. I drove home. I scarfed my food down by 4:30. I hop on my paddleboard, and I knew I had to paddle 3 miles north and about a mile offshore where the whale was. I figured it would take me an hour, and I got there in 50 minutes. So now it's about 5:20 p.m. I figured I got about an hour of sun, an hour of to hang out with the whale before I got to paddle all the way back and make it home before it gets too dark. And I'm out there with this whale all by myself.
Oh my God.
And then, as fate would have it, another boat pulls up, and I look, and it's my buddy named Mark, who's a really talented drone pilot. And for years, we've had this goal of getting me on my paddleboard, paddling next to a 100-foot blue whale. And this was a Wednesday afternoon, by the way, and it was him. And I was like, dude, get your drone up. I'm like, because by then I'd been with the whale for almost an hour. I knew its patterns. It was safe. I'm like, get that drone up. Here's our chance to get me paddling next to a blue whale. So if I can figure out this screen share right now, I'm going to show you a 30-second video of me next to, we figured this was only about an 80-foot whale. The blue whale is the largest animal on the planet. Yeah, this is only 80 feet. Hold on. Oh, look, I figured it out. What do you see? Do you see?
Oh, yeah, I see it. Yep, hit play.
All right, here we go. Here's me.
There's you.
Well,
holy crap.
It's coming up.
Whoa.
They're super docile, by the way.
Now,
super chill.
Is it hard to stay on your board while he's moving the water around like that?
Nah.
But you feel the current that he creates?
A little bit. I've probably paddled with blue whales 60 to 75 times in the last several years, so I'm very comfortable with them.
That's amazing.
How about that?
That's a good one. Wow, that's amazing.
Thanks, Dave.
What a gift that you have been given, to be able to experience that
every day. It's been, there's a lot bigger things going on in the world right now than my lack of ability to go on this beach right here, grab my board, go down there, across the sand, and hop on the water. But in my little world, the fact that pretty much every day for the last 10 years, I'm out there paddling with dolphins and whales. So it's been almost a month now that I haven't been able to. It's been a little hard for me because it's a huge part of my life. But looking at the bigger picture, like I said, the consolation that I'm getting from this whole thing, the salvation in it is the air that these animals breathe. That's what I love about dolphins and whales. They're what's called conscious breathers. They live underwater, but they need to breathe the air. So they have to consciously come up and take a breath, right? You're breathing, I'm breathing right now. Have you thought once in the last 10 minutes we've been talking about a breath? No, it just happens naturally where they have to consciously breathe. So the thought that the water they live in is getting cleaner and the air that they breathe consciously is getting cleaner, that's my consolation in this whole thing. So I know I'll be back out there one day.
Yes, you will, my friend.
And to our point, hopefully as humans we'll really use this as an opportunity to continue not only to protect the environment and the ocean, but ourselves. This is our lives are literally on the line right now.
This is it, man. It's the only Earth we got, right?
This is it.
This is it. Well, dude, it's been such a gift to chat with you, man. I miss you. It's good to see your face.
You too, man.
And let's all just take this as a little bit of a reset. We're given a better, cleaner environment for a moment. Let's not blow it. Let's see if we can't double down on that.
Yeah. I appreciate you thinking of me. It's been too long, so I'm glad we got to reconvene in this forum, and hopefully people enjoyed our little chat.
Okay. Absolutely, buddy. You take care, okay?
Thank you, Dave. Thanks.